Good everyone, and welcome to today's Spade review, and today it's on the HS-123 A-1. Now, from what I've been able to find, China only had about 3 of these. I may be wrong. Maybe like I think it was like the mixes I found were like 3 to about 30 of these. And well, it's a HS-123, so anyone who knows my clubbers lineup knows that I'm gonna love this thing. And you are correct, I love this thing. Always have, always will. So the HS-123 is a biplane dive bomber, which obviously I use it in the clubbers lineup because of its payload and its versatility. Comes in about array 1.3, you get a bomber spawn, you get two 7.92 machine guns, which spray so badly when stock. I'll tell you that right now. They spray like freaking shotguns. You don't get any payloads when stock, just to bear in mind. You do have to get the ETC 50 whatever to get the 450s on, which is what I had in this battle. I did not have the 250 underneath. I didn't have the modification unlocked. This plane only took me 2 flights to Spade. The first flight was a single kill on a PBY Catalina, and the second flight was this one. It's a it was a quick Spade because obviously the premium account always helps. But as people already know, I love this thing. Um, it's so versatile. It can actually take quite a beating, which you're going to see in this battle. But the reason why it takes a beating is because I make a mistake, and well, I'm going to show it because well, why not? But like I said, the turn rate is pretty good because it's biplane. The engine is a bit weak, but that is no real concern. The top speed is pretty slow. It is quite a slow plane, so just bear that in mind. Um, I was looking up as well, for those of you that are interested, other bombers and attackers that China use. They use HE-111As. They use these things from, I think, Volti? I can't freaking remember. And, well, there is more to come. Obviously, in the Chinese tech tree overview that they showed us before, obviously, the patch dropped. Um, yeah, there is more to come. So that will probably drop in the next update, most likely. So, HS-123, love it. Let's see what it can do in a battle, eh? In my hands. Now, those of you that know, I love planes that can fly like fighters if they need to. Very nice shot there of the MiG-19, just to point out. Firing a missile, it looks like. But obviously, we're not talking about jets. I'm not going to be spending jets for quite a while, I don't think. But the HS-123, I did get a nice screenshot, forgot to point out, which will be pointed out on Tom the Tank's video. He does like a video of screenshots, and I sent him one where I basically just hit Alt Z, which you can do to like get rid of everything like your heads-up display. And I sent him a really nice pic of this HS at well 11,500 feet roughly, and he liked it, so he is going to use it in his upcoming videos. So that's always nice. So I'm just checking Facebook there because I was having a conversation with Dave Schilling a couple of moments ago. But obviously, to start off with, you may notice the current airspeed of 143 miles per hour. Now, to put that in perspective, I have been on someone's Audi doing 140, so this thing's not exactly a speed demon, is it? I mean, 140 feels faster in a car, but in a plane, that's granny's pace. But it gets the job done. Like I say, it does get the job done. So that's always a positive thing. Obviously, the HS-123 is not built for speed. It's a dive bomber. You can fly as a fire. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But if obviously you're new to War Thunder and you don't know your aircraft very well, I would recommend simply using this thing as a ground pounder. I think the only ground kills I get are in this game. In fact, no, they are in this game. I will be using it in ground forces when the Chinese tech tree for tanks opens up. I was thinking to go for the 111, but I thought, no, that thing's got good defensive armament for its BR. I'll ignore it. And I just went from there. Obviously, there's a Sunderland on the enemy team, which you can see right in front of me. You can see the big bastard coming right at us. I identified it as a Sunderland at this point before the red box showed up. And, well, he turns away. I was going to aim for a head-on with him. And obviously, if he didn't react and he just flew straight on, I'd go for the engines. But it's TBD. Very easily could have killed me. Obviously, he's going 50 cal, but he's not paying any attention, so... more points for me. And there he goes for my first kill. Unfortunately, I do not use the bombs in this battle. I have to ditch them, so... just going to make that clear. The 50 kilo bombs are pretty okay. They get the job done. You get 2 drops of them, and then the 250 drops last. So if you use this thing in ground forces, the outer wing-mounted 50s drop first, then the inward, then the 250. Just thought I'd make you aware. Now, at this point in the battle, I'm actually listening. Obviously, I crank back the throttle, and I dive slightly. As you can see, the controllability of this thing is very nice, even with bombs on. I think HS-123 served right until 1944? If I remember rightly, they were in some squadrons. Obviously, they were obsolete as shit. But as far as I remember, they did some good work, even though they were outdated as shit, basically. But the plane itself is really, really fun. Obviously, I didn't have the 250 on board, so I didn't get to use it. I'm kind of glad I didn't have the 250 on board, because it would have handled like a boss otherwise. With the 450, you feel very little difference. So for RB, you're going to want to use the 450s. But for tank RB, you're going to want to use the full payload. And you can see down there, it's just a sea of red. So I'm thinking at this point, fuck that. I'm not diving in to deal with that crap. It's at this moment, however, I spot an aircraft. Here is where I'm going to make a mistake, and I'm going to point it out. Now, obviously, I'm looking and I'm thinking, what kind of aircraft is that? Turns out it's an MS-405. If I remember rightly, but no, is it an MS-405 or an MS-410? Or 410? It's one or two. I know it's an MS. It's like flipping M&S adverts. You see those all the time in British television. A bit like the flipping DFS sofa sales, which are always on. It's like, I saw a really funny meme the other day. It said like 2050. It's 405. Close enough. I knew it was one or two. It said something like 2050. I've just come back with the DeLorean from Back to the Future, and here's where I make my mistake, by the way. It's not that maneuver, it's this maneuver. I pull myself up into a stall when I really shouldn't have, and I take a double wing crit to the under wing. Now, luckily this thing's got a tough under wing, so it wasn't that big of a concern. Obviously, now I've got to drop my bombs, and I've got to fight as best I can. Obviously, with a double wing crit, this thing handles like crap, so just bear that in mind. It can shrug off the hits, but you just got to remember it's not the best at doing so. Obviously, he had a very weak pilot, so I just aimed for the cockpit, as I normally do on an MS, and that was my second kill for the game. At this point, however, that sea of red that you saw earlier has been reduced to basically nothing. There's a Hawk, and there's that 111 that got away at the start of the game. However, for some reason, the Hawk is going to ignore the Ju-88 and come for me, even though I'm not engaging anything important. I'm just engaging a couple of AAA trucks. After I get this kill, I hear something. I'm thinking, what the hell? Look to my left, and sure enough, it's a Hawk. I'm thinking, for fuck's sake, I'm fucked here. I was thinking I was screwed. And obviously, this is where the bus handling starts. Speeds dropping, turn rates reducing, but thankfully, Mr. Mope XOD in his Zhukovsky's Chaika saved my ass, so thank you very much, sir. But as you can see, the plane's handling like shit at the moment. It is borderline stalling. it's very close to stalling, but I just managed to keep it airborne for that little bit longer, so I could basically drive it on the ground and get my third ground target before the game ends. That got the play done, just to point out. Um, so spade it in 2 flights, so on to the next one. Obviously, I've already done it, but you get the idea. Um, so what do I think of it? The HS-123. Well, as I've already said, it's a great plane. Highly suggest people spade it and use it in tank forces when the Chinese tank forces comes for free. Obviously, if you bought the pack, you probably moved on to like what BR4 by now. I should hope. Um, do use this thing in lower tiers. It is great fun. 450 kilo bombs, 250 are gonna pack a serious punch, and obviously 7.92 is pretty good anyway for dealing with light vehicles. So just take it in your stride. But yeah, highly recommend people spade this thing. Obviously, there are a couple of weaknesses, and obviously, I showed my mistake. I shouldn't have done that vertical maneuver, but hey ho, even I make mistakes, and it nearly costed me my bird. But everybody will make a mistake at some point in life, and well, I like to show my mistakes because obviously, even experienced players make a mistake, and it costs them, and it costs them dearly. But this plane's spaded. Next time I'll be flying it will most likely be in the tank forces when that comes out. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys off. I hope you enjoyed today's spade review on the HS-123A1, and I'll see you all on the next one.